Bada bing, bada. All right, let's see if this one works. Yeah, this is try it number 2 to go live. So basically, I'm kind of sat inside the car doing this live stream instead of the usual one on Saturday where I'm like, I got a camera in my hand, I'm walking around and talking. The main reason why I'm in the car is because I don't know if you guys can see at the window, it is absolutely pissing down with rain. It's been raining all freaking day. I've been waiting for the rain to clear up, but that hasn't happened. So that's why I'm coming to you guys from inside a car doing my grocery shopping on a Saturday. So anyway. So I want to talk about my experience of using the LUMIX S5iiX over the past 3 weeks to a month. I've filmed the videos with it and I've filmed then a little live streams with it as well. So I want to talk about it specifically from the point of view of live streaming. So I got some pros and cons that I want to discuss in case someone out there is thinking about using the same camera to do kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with the pros first. I think the pros for me, they are freaking amazing. I love the fact that the quality is really, really, really high in terms of like how it compares to something like, I don't know, like a GoPro or like an action camera. You know, that delicious, nice, blurry background you can have depending on the kind of lens you're going to use. The fact that you can change lenses and then you have like different streaming options in terms of like resolution. So right now, for these kind of live streams, I prefer to use 720p because for me, it's the most reliable. 1080p can work, but you need a very, very strong signal for that to be, you know, reliable. So I don't risk it when I'm doing these kind of live streams. So the ability to just walk around and talk and stream is absolutely amazing from my point of view. I also love the fact that the S5iiX has really good stabilization. As you're walking around, the image stays pretty stable. It's not overly... What's the word I'm looking for? It's not overly floaty, but it just has a nice stability as you're walking around, which I really, really appreciate and love, especially when you're using like zoomed in lenses, like telephoto. That usually helps magnify the issue of like, you know, jitters and bumps and stuff. But this camera handles that like you will not believe. It's freaking insane for that. I love the color. I think the color options are really, really nice. Currently, I'm using Cine D version 2, I think. And I love the saturation in the image, and I like the fact that I have options to change if I need to for my live stream, which is absolutely insane. I also love the fact that because it's a full frame camera, it's really, really good at low light situations. Right now I'm sat inside the car, right? The ISO is 4000. I got an ND filter on. The reason why the ISO is so high is because this thing has got something called, has it got dual gain or something like that? So even at like 4000 ISO, the image is still super clean. The reason why I have it so high is because I have an ND filter on the camera. It helps me adjust exposure as the lighting situation changes. Because here it's late autumn and the skies are gray today, no sun. So the light is kind of dull. So by changing the ND, I can brighten or darken the image depending on what the situation is going on outside and stuff like that. So that's why I have it so high. But hopefully it looks clean to you guys. Before I just carry on here, let me just check my live stream here because I'm gonna be yapping and we're not live. That would definitely suck. So let's have a look, see. Let's go. Oh, that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So we are still live, which I love, as you guys can see here. So from the hardware side of things, I think this camera is absolutely incredible. It's also weather sealed as well. Technically, I could go outside and do this in the rain, but I'm not going to risk it because I don't really want to get any rain or like give the camera the chance to, you know, get rain inside or whatever. And I don't want to get wet outside as well. So that's why I'm kind of in here. So from a hardware perspective, I think it's a great camera. You got camera input, microphone input as well, which means I can use higher quality microphones like this Holylark M2 that I'm using, which I think sounds incredible. It's an absolutely incredible camera. So those are the main pros that I've really seen in terms of me using the camera, like walking about on the street. Well, let's talk about some cons though, because there are quite a few. I think the biggest con, well, one of the biggest cons with the S5iiX is the size of the camera. This is not a small camera. This is quite a beast of a camera. I mean, it's not as big as like a DSLR because those were freaking huge like cameras. But in terms of like walking around the street carrying this like in your arm, like vlogging style, oh my days, like after a while this camera does get heavy, especially when you include the weight of a lens as well, because the lenses add quite a bit of weight. And walking around, you have to keep kind of swapping your arms around, the camera between your arms, just to alleviate the crazy like like fatigue in your arms and stuff. On the plus side, that's probably a good thing, because it works your arm at the same time as you're walking and talking, so there's also that aspect of it. But if you're not strong, you're gonna struggle to carry this camera in vlogging style like this as you're walking around and talking and stuff like that. So that is something to think about in case you're thinking about getting yourself one of these cameras. But I think the quality of the imagery for me outweighs that con, like all hands down. There's just no competition in it. I just think it's I would rather have that. There's one major aspect here I forgot to mention in my pros of the camera. I mean, the fact that I can live stream anywhere without a computer, like I'm doing right now. So all I need is an internet connection, like a Wi-Fi hotspot to my phone, and I can go live. I can't believe I forgot that one. So yeah, that's a very, very big pro with this camera. All you need is a camera and a lens and a Wi-Fi connection or hotspot, and you can go live. That is the biggest pro, and I love it. So back to the cons again. So the weight is an issue. And also, if you want to use a zoom lens, because I like to use a zoom lens because it gives me different options to frame and also to basically show you guys what I'm looking at. So I can turn the camera around, zoom in if I need to, and then go back wide like when I'm vlogging. I just think that's a really cool additional thing to have. But downside is that also adds weight, because zoom lenses tend to be heavier than prime lenses. So if you don't want to zoom, you want to get a wide prime, then that will help reduce the weight a little bit. So that's an option for you. But then again, if you want to get closer, you might have to change lenses, which kind of like kills the whole thing of walking around and live streaming as things happen. So for me, I think the compromise of a zoom and the extra weight of the zoom, I think I can kind of like live with that. I mean, if you get tired, find a place to put the camera down and talk like this. That can work as well. So, the options available to you. So some of the biggest cons for me are more to do with the apps than anything else. This reminds me of a comment left by, let me see if I get his name correct. This kind of what inspired this video. Let me just find his comment here. It was a comment left by, yes. So this comment was left by Rondell KB. Rondell said, all the LUMIX apps are very buggy. Random fails to connect, random fail to launch features, etc. Launching a live will fail 5 times straight. And when you come back 5 minutes later, well, hey, come back. 5 minutes later, it miraculously works. You know what? I've definitely experienced that. But I will say that was more of an issue for me in the beginning, though, when I was still learning to use the app. But since then, I've not really had that many issues. But it is true, these apps need a lot of work. Panasonic, seriously, like your hardware is amazing, but you need to sort out your software. That's the biggest thing letting down your otherwise incredible camera. Now, from my experience, the issues I had were more to do with that UX or that user experience design, because I feel like whoever designed this app or whoever team, they know nothing about, that's a bit of an insult. Like, they do know some things, but man, hire in a UX specialist to help you design this app. Because I found that when I was trying to set up the app with the camera, like there were buttons on the screen, but they don't look like buttons. So you're trying to figure out how to get to the next page or how to like activate something, and a button does not look like a button. And when you press the button, there's no feedback as well, which is really frustrating. An example for me was when I was trying to select, because when you go on YouTube on this app, you have the option to stream privately, unlisted, or public. So when you select public, there is no tick next to the public selection. But even worse, you just get a list, but you don't know that there's a drop-down menu to select the options. I mean, it's not very obvious what you need to do. And then when you select unlisted, for some reason, there's a blue tick next to unlisted, and there's a blue tick next to private. But when you select public, there's no tick next to it, which is very, very confusing from a user experience point of view. So I don't know how that was allowed to happen, but for some reason in this app, that's actually a thing. And I just find it really odd and weird. So in the beginning, I was getting frustrated because I didn't understand what was going on with this app. I didn't know if my actions were being like registered or not. And also, this is a very, very, because I used to do web design, yeah, back in the day and that. So, back in the day, it's not that long ago. You gotta make like colors and like contrast is very, very important. For some reason, this app is very dark. And then when you select, like, and then the buttons are very dark, or icons are also dark. So you got like a black background, but then you got like a dark gray, I don't know, text, or like dark gray, what's the word? Like a tick. So like you're looking, but it's really hard to see because the contrast is not enough between the background and whatever action you're trying to activate on the app. It makes more sense to make things stand out a little bit more because it makes it easier from a user experience. So that is something that Panasonic, I hope in the next version of this camera, or even like just make the app better, like change the contrast of the background, the text, and buttons, man. Or like highlight the button, like give a ring around it, like a border that will change color when you press it or something to tell the user that something is happening. Because often you don't know what is going on. So that for me is the biggest letdown of the LUMIX Sync app when it comes to streaming using the LUMIX S5iiX from my experience. Another app that this camera comes with is the LUMIX Flow app. This app is actually, the idea is absolutely incredible, right? So it lets you use your phone as a monitor for when you're filming stuff. So you can imagine if you're using like a long lens in a big room, you can have the camera on a tripod quite far away from you. But you want to know that you're in focus, that your framing is correct. This app lets you wirelessly connect to your camera. You can do it tethered with a USB-C cable as well. But I like the flexibility of no wires, right? And the latency is pretty good from my experience so far. However, this app will just randomly just quit. Like out of nowhere, it just completely quits. You're like, what the hell is going on? You have to restart the app and then reconnect to the camera. And it's just like, did they not test this app before they released it to the wild or something like that? So it's little things like this that I think LUMIX and the Panasonic team need to work on to make this a more reliable, more robust streaming platform. Because not that many cameras offer this streaming function built in. Sony has something similar. I had a Sony a7 IV, and it was so unreliable to the fact that I couldn't even get it to work. I mean, this app was just like, it didn't connect once to my camera. I tried everything, it didn't work. In the end, I ended up selling it and then buying the LUMIX S5iiX, which works way better, but I think it can be even greater with a better app. Now, LUMIX, please take some inspiration from DJI, right? I feel like DJI understands the customer base very, very well. They also understand that apps need to function properly. So in the current camera space, I think DJI, maybe Insta360, which I haven't used yet, but I know with a lot of the action cameras, they also have an app as well. But DJI specifically has a very, very easy to use app. And it works pretty reliably, especially for live streaming as well. So take some inspiration from DJI and just design a more robust, better overall app. I think you have got a winner on your hands, especially for those of us who want to like live stream and stuff like that. Saying that, a lot of camera companies, Fuji included, not specifically from live streaming, have terrible camera apps, man. I don't know why these apps are so bad. Your hardware is very, very good, but please invest some of that money that we pay you guys for your hardware into hiring better software team, because software literally is a key. So I'm hoping that maybe via, I don't know, like a firmware or like maybe the next version of the LUMIX S5iiX, there'll be like better apps coming out that are a bit more reliable and easier to use. And that's really it. Improvements I like to see in the future as well is, I know this is a really big one, is to have like a camera like this, but with built-in SIM slots, like maybe 2 SIM slots that let you maybe bond to phone signals or data paths to give you more reliability when you're streaming. Because sometimes you are in a place where the data signal is not very strong, so you get drop frames or like the whole stream dies altogether. But if you're able to bond 2 separate data SIMs together, it's a more broader and more reliable way to stream. So if there's a way for Panasonic to I don't know, build that into the camera, that would be absolutely insane. Or do something similar to what Speedify has done. Build that into the app where the software is able to bond two phone signals and a Wi-Fi connection together to give you more reliable streaming experience. So that could be a solution. But I feel like building that into the camera with 2 SIM slots will be a game changer. And I don't mind paying for a good camera. I mean, obviously within reason. But I feel like that's an opportunity that you could, help differentiate your cameras from other people out there. What I like to also see is a way for the app to also show like chat as well. So when you're online streaming, often you interact with your audience. It would be really cool to have chat within the app as you're streaming. I mean, that is like, it'd be an amazing thing to have. I mean, it's not like, I don't know how hard it is to implement that, but that will really make our lives a lot easier. I mean, I could just go to YouTube and interact that way, but it's one extra step in it. So, and I'm asking for a lot. Oh my gosh, sorry, I've been missing your comments here. So I got CFG-CFG, streaming from your camera directly. Yeah, I am. I'm streaming directly from the LUMIX S5iiX, sat in a car, tethered to my phone here, my second phone here, 4G signal, and streaming at 720p at 4 megabits per second. And it's amazing. So far, hopefully for you guys, no drop frames or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But normally I do this just walking around and talking, and it works absolutely beautifully. But I was saying earlier, it's raining like crazy, so I'm sat in the car instead. So CFG also said, what is the live streaming setup? So it is the LUMIX S5iiX. And then I'm using the LUMIX Sync app to set up the stream. So let me show you. So bada bing, bada boom. So I'm using this app here, connected to my camera. That lets me basically set up my YouTube streaming title, description, and all that jazz, and connect to either hotspot or Wi-Fi. And then I just press go live, and boom, there you go. And it's so freaking cool. Let me just go back to the comment just in case I missed something. Let me refresh. This is taking bloody ages. All right, let's go back here. Okay, so I made several live streams basically talking about how I set up my camera to do these live streams. So feel free to go back to my previous live streams to see how I've done it. There are 2 different ways to go live. One, you don't even need like the LUMIX Sync app at all. All you need is your camera and a computer to initially set up the stream key and stream URL, and then save it onto your camera. Once you've done that, as long as you get a Wi-Fi connection, you can go live without a computer. But you will need a computer to set it up. The way that I prefer to do it is to use this the LUMIX Sync app, because it gives me like full control over titling and descriptions and stuff like that. So CFG said, I'm thinking of getting the Panasonic S1iiE for live streaming. Would you recommend? I've not used the S1e yet. I think that came out probably after I bought this. But if it's got tethering, I'm not talking about. If it's got live streaming built in, it should be fine. But do you mean live streaming like indoors, like sat, like with a computer, or do you mean like walking around? So let me know which version you mean. Just to make sure, is the setup completely wireless? Yes, this setup is completely wireless. I wish I could show you. Like, there's literally no wires between the camera, my phone, anything like that. It's completely wireless, and it's freaking insane. I've been looking for this for a very long time, and through my research, I came across Panasonic. That's why I bought one. I had a Sony before. And then CFG just said that I just subbed. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Every little helps. The community is growing one sub at a time. You're very much appreciated. CFG said the quality is A1 source. That's what I like to hear. The thing is, yeah, the lighting here isn't even that good. It's kind of crazy. Like, with good lighting, it looks even better. But yeah, this is absolutely insane. So that is it, really. So if you have any more questions, please let me know. And if you're watching this after the live stream ends, leave me any questions in the comments below. and I'll do my very best to answer them. Apart from that, that is pretty much it, people. I will see you later. And once again, thanks for the sub, CFG-CFG. You are appreciated. And I see you on the next live stream. Take it easy. Bada bing, bada boom. Freaking love live streams, as you can probably tell. Oh my gosh. Now all I gotta do is end the live stream. Why is it not connected to end? What's going on here? Okay, we're still live apparently. And I see you guys on the next one. Bada bing, bada